Salutations, gaming enthusiasts! Today, we have met up on Flatmates to discuss the Super Mario Galaxy movie. There will be spoilers in this video, so if you have not seen the film, you will probably be very lost. You should go and watch the movie first. Or don't, I am not your father. Anyway, here, joined with me today is Altermentality, or Courtney, and FlipZ. Say hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Now we wait for the viewer to respond to your question. So, the movie. I have some very mixed feelings about Super Mario Galaxy movie. I figured that we should maybe discuss the pacing first, because it is like the hot button issue about both of the Mario films that they've released, in that these films are kind of too fast. What would you say about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you said to the viewer that they should go watch the movie, otherwise they'll be very lost. But I watched the movie and I still feel kind of lost. So it's just that so much happens. And I mean, just from reading interviews and comments and stuff, I think, that was the intention. That's what Miyamoto wanted it to be. He wanted it to feel like kind of a video game where there's nonstop action. I guess that's what his vision for what a Mario movie would be, and that's why both of them have that same thing. Where it's just there's very little downtime with the characters. It's just, I mean, it's a visual it's very impressive animation wise, but it's just kind of it makes it a little hard because your brain needs those break moments to sort of comprehend what's going on in the story or with the characters and stuff, and there's just very little of that in these movies. It's just constant action set piece to action set piece.
My autistic brain struggles to keep up with things that are too fast like this, and it needs moments of rest to be able to understand what's going on, I feel, so that didn't help.
Yeah, I've seen people describe it as, you've probably seen it too, people say, oh yeah, it's just jangling the keys in your face. Yeah,
it is very jangling keys, I will say.
What the parts I remember most, from the first movie, when Mario and DK were just having that little heart-to-heart moment, and then from this movie, when Mario and Peach were on the roof, because those are kind of just quiet character moments, so they stick with you a bit more.
Yeah, I feel like if everything is really fast, high-octane action, you won't, none of it will make an impression on you. I describe this movie, and to a lesser extent the first one, we will compare it to the first one later on, but I describe this movie as a roller coaster sort of movie. It is a film that is very entertaining to just sit back, turn your brain off, and just watch as things happen, because things sure do happen, but you're not going to get a particularly fulfilling or deep experience from the film whatsoever.
Yeah, that's fair. I
think it makes sense. Oh, go on.
Well, yeah, you go first.
Okay, yeah, I was just gonna say that I think it makes sense that Miyamoto has been heavily involved in both these movies and the Nintendo theme parks, because they kind of have the same vibe of just sit back and be entertained with this wonderful world,
I do feel like Miyamoto's design philosophy works better for video games, especially more gameplay-oriented video games. And I don't want to be one of those people who whinge about Sticker Star. Miyamoto ruined Paper Mario and he got rid of the story, but it is true that he does value the plot of things less than other developers and whatnot. And I think it might have been nice if they got Yoshiaki Koizumi, who actually wrote Rosalina's storybook, to help out this movie instead, maybe, or as well.
I was actually going to mention that. Going from, as a Galaxy player who's played both games and loves them to death, if you ever look at the development history of those games, you've noticed that Miyamoto and, forgot the other guy.
Yoshiaki Koizumi.
Yeah, they had a back and forth about the storybook, and Miyamoto wanting no story in Galaxy 2. And now I looked back at that after seeing the movie, and then I just okay, here we are. Here's a Galaxy movie where Miyamoto is co-directing it. Am I going to get a story here? Or am I going to get fast-paced action?
That's the unfortunate thing, because Mario Galaxy, you could ask me on any day and I'd say that my favorite video game ever is either Super Paper Mario or Super Mario Galaxy. Those are my top two, and I go back and forth over which is my favorite of all time. I adore Super Mario Galaxy. It is obviously the less story-y of the two, but compare Mario Galaxy to basically any of the other main Mario games, and you will notice that it has a lot more atmosphere and a lot more plot, and those are some of the things that people like the most about the game. Whereas the movie, as an adaptation of Super Mario Galaxy, falls extremely flat, and it's a Mario Galaxy movie in that it takes place in space. But, like, the references are kind of all over the place.
We only go to, like, what, 3 galaxies? Honey Hive,
Yes.
Gateway Galaxy,
Yes.
and there's, like, space junk, and I'm like, those 3 only? No Toy Time Galaxy? How do you do this to me?
Yeah, as a Mario Galaxy movie, yeah, there's 3 galaxies. Honey Hive, to be frank, when I first watched the movie and the castle landed on the Honey Hive Galaxy, I did not clock that they hadn't just landed back on the Mushroom World, to be honest. I thought that they just landed on the same planet.
Yeah, same. I thought the same thing. I'm like, aren't they on the same planet? I didn't think they went that
Yeah,
far.
like-
We just traded colorful mushrooms for colorful flowers, and I feel like, well, there's colorful flowers in parts of the Mushroom World, so it could still be here.
Yeah.
And then, like, the bees showed up, and like, oh, I guess we're there then. But yeah, the different Mario Galaxy locations. There's the Honey Hive Galaxy, then there's the Gateway Galaxy. Obviously, the Gateway Galaxy is not the same as it was in the game. In the game, it was the first planet that Rosalina basically went to as a kid, where her ship crash landed. It's where she made friends with the first Luma that she met, and it's where a lot of her story takes place, where we like learn about her coming to terms with the death of her mother and whatnot. But here, it's like a big traveling hub, which I don't dislike, but it is a bit of a shame that it's replacing what was like the crux of the story of the game. And then you've got the Space Junk Galaxy, which was the like really calm and beautiful space location in the original game. But it's just the place where Bowser Jr.'s built a planet filled with like death roller coasters and whatnot now.
He took
Yeah, I feel like
inspiration.
there was no real point of that being the Space Junk Galaxy, because it had
No.
like nothing to do with the
Yeah.
one in the game.
It was
Like-
basically
They could've
just
called it
oh,
anything.
We all
don't
remember
call it that because fans' neurons will be activated when they hear reference.
I was
That's
when I saw that, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not getting a remix of that awesome Space Junk Galaxy theme. Got it? Okay.
Yeah, no. We are just kind of jumping from thing to thing, but like
Yeah.
that's what the movie did. But
Yeah, exactly.
like you mentioned the music, and the music in both of the movies is very good, but like I have noticed, okay, I've watched this movie in the cinema 3 times now. I watched the first movie in cinema 5 times, and I've noticed with the music, it has like the same pacing issue as the movie does, because every single time I like recognized a motif and a tune from the games, I'd like start diddly-doing along to it. And humming along and whatnot. I tried to sing the Sexy Luigi song to the music that shows up with. And like 2 seconds of that particular bit of music playing, it switches to a different bit of music in the same like track. And it's just way too fast. Put the brakes on a little bit. I want to be able to enjoy an actual cover of the songs.
In like simple terms, it ends before it begins.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked the soundtrack, like the original soundtrack for both movies, but I kind of feel like it has to be that way because it has to fit along with the action, which is constantly shifting. But I totally get what you're saying. It's like a bait and switch. If you recognize these tunes, it's like you get excited, and then it's like, nope, that was just a little hint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just get Luigi. I just want to touch you. Oh, we're on now. And that's
Amazing
it. Okay.
reference.
I want to sing
I will
along to it.
a lot of a lot of people have said this, but I do appreciate that they had less pop music in this one and like the like orchestral soundtrack.
Did they have any?
Not
There
any.
was like the one when it was like the backstory of Yoshi.
Oh yeah,
University.
Yoshi playing Grand Theft Auto.
I mean, I didn't. Yeah, kinda. That
was like the only one I can remember.
I didn't recognize it, so I didn't clock it as like a pop culture song or whatever.
Glad they did that.
But the music is good. But like, I mean, when I listen to music on like Spotify or Nintendo Music, I go through the soundtrack and I like sort them into my playlists based on their like vibe, and I can't really do that with these songs because the vibe is shifting every 5 seconds, so I don't know where to put them.
I
But yeah,
I
those-
will say that like I I'm glad there was also some Star Fox music in this, because the Star Fox series also has really, really good soundtracks. And, you know, not only was if they're going to put Fox in the movie, they should put some Star Fox music in there, and they did. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
I've never played a Star Fox game, but yeah, the Star Fox music was good. I am not terribly in love with the idea of this being like a kind of Super Smash Bros. Movie-ish, but there's already so many references. Yeah.
I feel like it's too early to be talking about that, but
structured videos, the discussion. What's that? I don't know.
I feel.
Actually, I kind of wanted to talk about like our theater-going experience as individuals. I know, George, you said you've been 3 times now, but for me, I only saw it once. It was like the weekend after it came out. And so the first one I went to go see it was just me and my husband. And this time, I didn't think my husband was gonna want to go, because for various reasons, he just wasn't that interested in it. So I recruited a bunch of friends to go with me. So it was just, but then my husband did decide that he wanted to go in the end. So it was me and him, and then like 5 other people who were anywhere in age from like their mid-20s to like their late 30s. So I just brought all these other like adults who don't really know all that much about Mario to see it with me. And they were like so confused. It reminds me of when I was a little kid and I like made my parents go see the Pokemon movies with me. They had like no idea what was going on. They enjoyed themselves, but I had to explain a lot. And I got some questions, like one of them was really obsessed with Fox, thought Fox was awesome, and was like, who is this guy? I don't know who he is. And so I had to explain he's from like a completely different Nintendo series.
That's funny.
Yeah, but then there was like one guy who was somewhat knowledgeable about Mario, so you know. And there was another person who was supposed to go but got sick beforehand, and he probably would have understood a lot more too. But yeah, for the most part, it was just really funny how like the things that they reacted to were not necessarily the things that like I would have expected to react to, because it was interesting to get the perspective of all these people who came into it with no preconceptions or, you know, really very little knowledge on the subject matter.
That is an interesting point to bring up, because like this movie is like there's so many references and they go to so many different places from like so many specific video games and stuff. It does kind of make it less accessible for a general audience, to be honest.
That's fair. Yeah,
that's how I felt. Like I wish that they could have, like, they enjoyed it, but I feel like most of them were just kind of amused by it, and I wish there was more to really grab onto for a general audience, because, you know, I had to explain, like, oh, this thing was from Galaxy, this was from Odyssey, this is blah blah, but yeah, I will say the same friend who was obsessed with Fox, she does like Pikmin, so she was excited when the Pikmin showed up.
Okay.
Yeah, for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can go first, and I'll describe my 3 times going to the cinema.
Yes. Before I get to the second, I actually had a funny story to share. The first movie, for like when 2023 hit, I said, "Oh man, I would love to watch the Mario movie with you guys, my friends." And they were all like, "Yeah, we got to make that happen." It didn't happen, and I just watched it with my dad, which was fine because he likes Nintendo, but I still love the movie. So flash forward to now, second movie hits, and I'm just like, okay, are we gonna do this again? And this time, shockingly, everybody was like, yeah, let's do it for real this time. We all bought our tickets. I'm like, oh my god, finally, can watch it with my friends. Now, all of them are knowledgeable about Mario and all these characters, so we were all hyped. What we didn't expect is that the website we bought the tickets on, I don't know what happened, but we accidentally bought the tickets to the 3D showcase. So everything was everything was in 3D. I'm like, oh my god, what?
I haven't found it in 3D yet. I've wanted to watch it in 3D, to be honest.
It is. Oh my god, it's even more eye popping in 3D. But it's. I like 3D and all, but it kind of sucks for people that wear glasses like myself, because you have to wear two sets, and it's just. It was okay. Not saying it was bad, but it's just inconvenient.
That makes me wonder if, like, prescription 3D glasses exist. They probably do, but
maybe
there wouldn't be much reason to have them.
Yeah, if you go see 3D movies all the time, you get your specialized...
Yeah, no, if watching 3D movies is your life's passion, then sure. But yeah, when I went to go and see the movie for the first time, I went with my brother, who I also went with to see the first Mario movie, and annoyed him by, like, poking him and whispering, "Oh, it's that thing over there, pointing at the screen!" And I also went with another one of my friends, Luke, who he's got the Sonic the Hedgehog autism instead of the Mario autism. So he is not really a Mario guy, but he came and watched it with me anyway, and he was like really angry by the end of the movie, and he didn't like the plot contrivances of like, oh, why did Peach and Rosalina just terraform a planet at the end randomly? That was really stupid, and oh, I really hate the freaking dinosaur scene where they turn into babies. It was so pointless. And like, as an outsider, it's like kind of surprising that he would like had such a bad time with it, even like not knowing what's going on so much.
Wow. That dinosaur scene, it was funny, I liked it, but I just felt like, man, this could have been like the boss fight from Good Egg Galaxy. This could have been the tail boss. I'm like, why didn't you guys chose the Odyssey dinosaur? That's
the thing. That's the thing. Like, I mean, they're gonna keep making movies. Yeah. I feel like they need to have a bit more restraint and self-control. You can, if you want to make a Mario Galaxy movie, make a Mario Galaxy movie. There are a lot of varied things within those two games to pull from that you can put into this film, and you can, if you want to make an Odyssey movie later, do that. That's one of the things that like kind of rubs me the wrong way about like the movies going forwards, because you've gone from like a movie where you go to like a few places on the Mushroom World, and then you've jumped into a interstellar movie where you go from galaxy to galaxy, planet to planet, zooming through space and stuff. Where are you gonna go from there? I probably think sequel ideas is at the bottom of my list of things to discuss. Why am I mentioning this now? Oops.
Probably say
no, but
that
I mean,
for
I
the
think
end.
that's a very but that's a interesting thing to wonder. A lot of us are having this like, why did they go straight from pretty basic Mario Bros movie to something of this like insane scope, and like what are they even gonna do next? Are they gonna like try to bring it down and calm it down a bit, or are they gonna try to match this movie's pacing and scope? It's interesting to think about.
If they're gonna try and like, oh sorry,
I want to save this bit for later, to be honest.
If they're gonna try and up this, they gotta increase that runtime, because 90 minutes ain't gonna cut it.
No, it's short and fast, and to be honest, as I went and watched the movie 3 times in the cinemas, this didn't happen when I was watching the first one 5 times. But with this movie, each time I went to go and see the movie again, it got worse for me. I liked it less each and every single time. The first time I did what I said at the start. It's like a roller coaster movie. I sat back and I enjoyed it. I watched the things happen and I had a good time. And then the second and third times, I just like, this is too fast. Things are happening too much. Like, I don't care about like anything that happens because we instantly move on from it. And I just, it's rubbing me the wrong way now. Like, I like it a lot less, which is a shame because it's on one of my, if not my very favorite game of all time.
The interesting thing about it taking us a few weeks to get to this discussion is I also feel like throughout that time, my opinion on the movie has cooled down a bit. Like, when I saw it, I thought it was good. Like, it wasn't great, but I was like, yeah, you know what, that wasn't so bad. I think people were a little too harsh on it. Like, that was a fun time. But as the time has gone on and I've like reflected more on this movie and comparing it to the first movie and just general stuff, I feel like my opinion has just kind of gone down a bit, and I don't think it's going to go down much further. I think it's kind of plateaued, but I definitely am a little more critical of it than when I first saw it.
I share some of that. When I watched it, like, I actually sat down and really thought about what I watched.
How much of it did you remember?
Oh no, I still remembered all of it. I have a weird memory,
right.
But I just thought about it like, okay, I still liked the movie, but this wasn't really the Galaxy movie I wanted. Like, I wanted an epic showdown of Mario vs. Bowser on that Galaxy reactor in the stage, but I clearly didn't get that. What I did get was still an awesome showdown. A showdown where Mario uses his iconic spin move once in the whole movie.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, it's an adaptation of Mario Galaxy, but Mario doesn't get, like, a Luma companion that gives him the spin ability.
Yeah.
And, like, supposedly in the games, the Luma is the thing that allows him to, like, travel through space. And I always took that to mean, like, you can fly through space, and you can also not, asphyxiate in the vacuum of space. And, they didn't bring up the possibility of dying in the vacuum of space even one time. I mean, they could have just had like a line like, oh, in the Mario universe, space is safe to breathe, actually. But they didn't even have Mario and Luigi go, are we going to die? But yeah, they don't, like, there's lots of things keep happening and weird things keep happening, and like even Mario and Luigi, who are like supposed to be the people who are unfamiliar with this world and this universe, no one like tries to call attention to it and like think about this, like what's this about then? How does this work? I don't understand this, because they wouldn't. And like a lot of the characters wouldn't understand what's going on, because like even like Peach, who is from this universe, hasn't been to space before. She would also be unfamiliar with things, and like it's a lack of like interest in slowing down and explaining anything that I think is part of what makes this movie inaccessible for people who aren't super familiar with Mario like we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the first movie, you know, it's a very basic storytelling concept and it's kind of cliche and stuff, but it did do a good job of contrasting, you know, these are two regular guy plumbers from the real world, and then they go into this magical world and they are like confused about it and they have to learn about how everything is different here. But in this movie, it's just kind of, they're going into space and seeing the most wondrous things and everybody just kind of rolls with it. No one stops to express much like confusion or even wonder at it.
Yeah, and like with so I want to move on to talking about the story a bit now. We've spoken about the pacing quite a lot. I've got on my list of discussion topics story or lack thereof, because we said earlier this movie is they're 70 to 80% jingling keys, and they focus on the references in the action pieces rather than on characters talking or doing much of anything. It bothers me, among many things, that Mario and Luigi show up and see Peach, and Peach doesn't go, "What are you doing here? Who's looking after my castle?" And they don't have a discussion about that.
That's a good point. Didn't think about that. Maybe they didn't talk about it because there was like more pressing issues, but that is worth mentioning.
No, they were at the Gateway Galaxy and they were getting a ship, and Fox was getting the ship ready and it wasn't ready yet. So they had a few moments to talk, at least.
Yeah, that's fair. Huh.
Yeah, they don't bring up the castle until like the very end, right? When they're like,
no, it's just that I do like the Luigi "it died" joke. That was funny.
That was one of the best things for sure.
I agree. That made me laugh out loud.
It was, but what does it say about Peach's skills as a leader if she's not concerned about her kingdom that she left in these people's hands? And it's like, oh, dear me. Very, very silly. Because like they don't treat anything with any weight. And the main thing that I want to talk about with the story is like Bowser and Bowser Jr. Because Bowser is like one of those, it's like a pendulum in a clock in this movie. It swings back and forth between different stances. And I like the idea of them toying with Bowser being like an anti-hero type of character and like maybe playing both sides a bit, and maybe joining with Mario sometimes, because the RPGs do that a lot and they do it very well.
Yes.
But in this movie, Bowser starts off at a point where it really seems like he's leading them on and seeming like he's reformed, like, oh, look at me, I'm super nice again, and I'm totally reformed, but like I'm gonna snap at the slightest provocation, which made me think that he was like full of baloney. And then he got big again and he went like, I'm fully on Team Mario now, I'm gonna sacrifice my freedom for you and like do everything for you, I really like you now suddenly. And so like, oh, okay, was that just genuine then? Is he developed Stockholm Syndrome? I'm not sure. And then after like a few minutes with his son, he's like, yeah, no, those guys suck. Which I can kind of see where they were going, what they were going for with that. I feel like they maybe were trying to get him to have developed Stockholm Syndrome, and Bowser Jr. was like, yeah, no, I'm your family and you kind of ditched me, but like we can get together, and those guys suck because they fought you and they ruined your wedding and stuff. And like, did Bowser forget about that or not? I don't know. I drive myself insane trying to understand Bowser's train of thought in this movie, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like they were trying to get across some of the complexity of Bowser's character throughout the games, where, you know, sometimes he's really evil, sometimes he's just kind of a goofy guy, sometimes he's even on Mario's side, and so they tried to condense that all into this movie, and it just makes him seem kind of unhinged the way he just goes back and forth so quickly. And I agree, I thought he was just completely like faking it for most of the movie, or most of the beginning of the movie, and then then he suddenly decides that he'll just like be a prisoner on the Honey Hive Galaxy, and I'm like, okay, that seems like something Bowser would not do, like ever. Like I felt like did he know his son was gonna come try and find him there or something? Because that just like, why would he do that? Like that's the kind of maybe emotional payoff you might get at like the very end of Super Paper Mario, where it looks like he's gonna sacrifice himself trying to keep that like falling ceiling held up or something, but you would get that at maybe the very end of an extremely emotional story, not just here where he decides he has some kind of affection for the bros and then decides, yeah, I'll just be like a honey slave now for your sake. Like that's like very out of character for him.
Yeah, it's just very, very silly because like it just flip-flops on a dime.
Yeah, you guys basically just took the words out of my mouth, but there was another question I had when watching that. Luigi seemed to be like kind of supportive of Bowser, like wanting to change, being a good person, and I'm just like, bro, he tried to kill both of you last movie, and suddenly you wanna, you think he's okay now, Luigi? Okay, that's really weird.
I do kind of like Luigi trying to see the best in people, though.
I like that. It's in his character, but I just found that odd. I get your complaints, but I do think I do like their dynamic, Bowser and Bowser Jr.'s. I found it cute, at least.
Yeah.
I like the part where there's just like Bowser was playing with puppets for Bowser Jr. I thought that was adorable.
Yeah. I just feel like they could have written Bowser's character to be a bit more consistent. They could have done basically the same thing that they ended up doing, but like have Bowser's attitude not be so wildly back and forth. But yeah, I mean, I do feel like at the end of the movie, when Bowser Jr. summons a big the dragon from the ruined dragon from Odyssey, and it eats him, which by the way took me kind of out because like I didn't think that things summoned by the paintbrush could turn on their creators. That was not a thing that was established. But yeah, when Mario rescued Bowser Jr., they both just suddenly went, okay, let's be chill now. And then they just stopped resisting entirely, and then they didn't do it. They just got thrown in prison afterwards. So I do feel like Bowser has kind of run his course a bit, and I do think that he will be back, but like I really think that they should try with some other villains in future movies, which again, I want to save that kind of discussion for later on in the video.
Yeah, do you want to talk about Bowser and Bowser Jr. now?
Wasn't that what we were doing?
Yeah, we kind of just did.
I mean, yeah, but like maybe a little more detail.
Else to bring up about them, then go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it's interesting that their relationship in this movie is a little bit reversed from what people typically think of them based in the games, where, you know, Bowser having this son, it's like, oh, he's such a wholesome dad, and, you know, all those videos of the parental controls or whatever. Like, it's viewed that Bowser having a son is like a softening influence on him, where, like, you know, he's got this, like, sweet, gentle dad side to him. But here, it's like Bowser Jr. is this influence on him that makes him become more evil again. Like it gets him more in touch with his evil side because he's got this evil son who's also evil and possibly even worse than he is, and so they kind of like reinforce each other negatively.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. And like also you say it's inverse of the games. Like in the games, aside from the RPGs, Bowser is generally always against Mario, but in the main games, like, Bowser Jr. does actually kind of help Mario sometimes, like with Bowser's Fury. And it seems very backwards there as well. And I also don't know how and why Bowser Jr. has such, like, a massive armada of airships in space. Like, did Bowser, like, you said that Bowser sent him to boarding school. Was the boarding school in space? Did he have an in space part of his armada? I don't know.
You're having an aneurysm thinking about this.
I feel like there are so many like establishing like the world and world building and lore things that like are in the background and are not called attention to whatsoever, like Rosalina's whole deal. Aside from Bowser, I want to talk about Rosalina in this movie, because Rosalina is so disappointing in this movie. Like, she gets very little screen time, very few lines, she gets to do very little. It's kind of lame to have the really powerful princess who has, like, interesting lore and stuff that doesn't get explained whatsoever, just get captured at the beginning of the film and spend the rest of the movie in a jar.
Yeah, I was disappointed in that too.
Yeah, because, I mean, she gets a cool fight scene at the very start, but, like, it doesn't end up well, obviously. And, like, I suppose they kind of have a similar thing going to the first movie, where, like, in the first movie, Mario's quest was to rescue his sibling. As opposed to Princess Peach, who he hadn't met before then, which I feel was a good idea, even though Peach is usually the one who gets kidnapped. And now they're kind of trying to mirror that. They were like, oh, Rosalina is Peach's sister now, even though that was never established before. So now Peach is on a quest to rescue her sibling. But, like, it doesn't work as well because they've... I mean, I don't want to say that they've never met before, but, like, when she was a baby and she doesn't even remember her really at all. So... And, like, they didn't do anything to, like, build that connection between them because they only meet at the very end and don't exchange, like, any words at all.
I mean, I really liked the beginning with Rosalina reading to the Lumas and having the awesome fight scenes and stuff. I was like, this is a good showcase of Rosalina as a character, and then that was, like, it. That was where the good part of it ended. It's
the same thing. It ends before it even starts.
Yeah.
I think the part that got me was, like, there was that brief moment where Peach has, like, a vision or a flashback of her and her older sister, of Rosalina, and I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That felt like... Because I would have never made the connection they were sisters, obviously. Nobody would. But that flashback, I was just like, huh? Wait, we're doing that now?
Yeah, I'm not tremendously keen on this new idea to the lore. I mean, I'm not sure if does it matter that much? I mean, it matters that much to people who ship them. I mean, that kind of ruins it for them, but I don't know. It does seem kind of contrived for the film. Yeah, they don't really go into the whole thing with the Lumas and stuff. It's just sort of there, and it just sort of happens, like everything. But yeah, no, there isn't much of a story. They just go from place to place doing things, and I enjoy a lot of the things. I enjoy watching a lot of the things. Like, I really did like Wart's Casino, and I think the location in the Gateway Galaxy is called, like, World -1, I think, which is a cool reference.
Yeah.
And the casino was the main place, the only place really, where we got, like, Mario Galaxy gravity shenanigans type stuff going on. And that was really cool, seeing the Super Mario Bros. 2 folks there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it took me way too long to realize this. I had a very belated realization, but Peach and Toad being the people to handle that segment was cool because Super Mario Bros. 2 is where they got to, like, be introduced as playable characters.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I love that scene because one of my favorite Mario enemies is Ninjas, and they were all over it. I'm like, yes, please.
I love Ninjas.
Ninjas, oh my goodness. I was so mad when Ninjas weren't playable in Mario Kart World, but at least they're here. But yeah. I thought that scene was really well done.
Yeah, I love Super Mario Bros. 2 in general. And I love Wart, and Wart has been one of those characters that I've always wanted to see come back, so... You know, even though he didn't get a ton of screen time in this movie, I thought what was there was very entertaining. He was a complete sleazebag. Like, introducing him as a sleazy casino owner was a cool take on him, so I'm, like, very satisfied with that part of the movie.
Yeah, I do like that. I like him. It's a little bit disappointing that they don't have a fight with Wart. They like, roars at her and then she just, like, immediately bodies him, but on the other hand, they're kind of ignoring the lore because he's from Subcon and it's like a world of dreams, and they didn't bother with that.
Yeah, I was hoping that, you know, the casino would have some kind of dream theme or something, but yeah, they don't really just acknowledge that at all. They're changing so much in these movies, I just I can't really that's the least of my complaints, I guess.
They're like, we would like to change the law so that we can reference literally everything.
I think I can't tell anymore if they're trying to make, like, are these separate continuities from games to movies now, or are they gonna make everything in the movie canon to games now?
No, I would definitely call them separate, to be honest. I really would.
So I didn't know if you wanted to talk about this or if you've even seen it, but actually, I think it was just this past week, but there was that interview with Miyamoto where he said he wanted to try and... So I did want to bring this up because I specifically, a lot of people have been making a big deal out of this, but I don't think it is that big of a deal. So basically there was this interview, and I think it was in Japanese because it was ahead of the release of the movie in Japan, because it didn't come out for, like, weeks after it did in America.
That's weird.
But yeah, so they like an interviewer asked Miyamoto if he wanted to like incorporate some of these new lore revelations into the games in the future, and he was basically like, yeah, I would like that. We never really like want to nail down a lot of these characters' stories because that kind of could potentially limit us for what we can do in future games. But now that things have been established in movies, we can use it in games going forward. And so a lot of people are upset about that, understandably, because this kind of contradicts stuff that was established in Galaxy. But I personally don't think much is going to come out of it because it was just kind of him getting caught off guard with an interview question being like, yeah, I would like to see that. So I don't really think we should make that big of a deal out of it.
People do make mountains out of molehills when it comes to like answers in interviews, and like also like in interviews that are translated from Japanese to English, you will often like lose the specific meaning that the Japanese person had as well. Sometimes.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
But yeah, I've always considered the Mario canon, quote unquote, as being like very malleable, and there's like, I mean, there are some games where it matters more. Like, I do think that there's like an ongoing canon with like within the Mario RPG series, like especially with Mario and Luigi, because like those games kind of like follow directly on from each other with like recurring characters and species and stuff. But yeah, I'm not tremendously keen on the changes to the lore with them being sisters, but like I don't know if I care that much, to be honest.
I don't really care about the sister thing so much, but it's just that Rosalina's story in the original game was so much better. Like,
yeah,
that has stuck with people so much over the years, not just because oh my gosh, they put a backstory in a Mario game, but because that story was actually really beautifully told and like very emotionally resonant. And I feel like they just changed it because they didn't want to have a story about someone's mom dying in like the funny Wahoo movie for children. And obviously kids can handle subject matter like that and they can handle emotional stories, but they didn't want to do it in this movie. So
yeah, that is definitely my main complaint about this film, is that it went too fast and didn't take itself seriously in the slightest, and every single arc that was set up didn't go anywhere really. Like there was Bowser's Redemption, didn't go anywhere, he just reverted back to how it was. Mario crushing on Peach gets brought up a few times, and they do have some cute moments, like the bit where they like kick rocks together. Although that in of itself, when Mario showed up and he was an adult again, Peach didn't go, "Oh, you're an adult again." At least a tiny little establishing line where she's surprised by that. Yeah, no, every tiny little bit of connective tissue in this film just kind of makes me angry because they didn't bother stitching things together.
It's kind of like throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks or doesn't stick.
Yeah,
this movie throws so many things.
Kind of reeks of first draft.
Yeah, I know you wanted to get more into comparisons between the two movies later. I don't know if you want to do that now, but that is one area where I think that the first movie is stronger. I mean, it doesn't really have great themes to it, but it has like something. It has more resolution. It has more parallels between the characters and things like that.
I feel like they tried with the first movie and they didn't with this one.
It's just the first movie. I feel like it just had better pacing. Like, sure, it was fast, but it wasn't incredibly fast.
It's funny because with the first movie, I feel like people's main complaints with the first movie is that it was too fast, and then they're like, "Screw you, we're gonna make it worse." But like with the first movie, they do Mario has an arc.
Yeah, he does.
And like he's like, "Oh, you don't know when to back down against bullies." Is like, you know, I don't, but like, oh wait, no, that's actually a good thing. I'm not gonna back down, and I'm gonna look after my brother and stuff. And like, it felt like there was an actual character arcs in that film, and this one is just like they just sort of float around the concept of character arcs without actually engaging with them, which is vexing.
I know, and it was like right there. Like, there's these themes of parenthood with how, you know, Rosalina's a good mother to the Lumas, teaching them to be like curious, and Bowser was a not good father to his son, just kind of, you know,
which he doesn't have,
like violent and destructive, and you know, they don't really do anything with that at all.
Bowser could have had some moments of like self-awareness about that. Like Bowser Jr. keeps mentioning things that Bowser did that are like really crappy dad things, like you left me in boarding school and you told me that, oh, never trust friends, they're going to stab you in the back. And Bowser just says, I was a really good dad, which is funny. But it would have been nice to have Bowser be a person and reflect on his actions a bit.
Yeah, like, I get that they're villains, so they don't necessarily have to come to the same conclusions that, say, a heroic character would, but it is just kind of funny that they both just kind of get rewarded for their bad behavior, and I don't know, it's like the fact that Bowser was a negligent father, it didn't really matter at all, because Bowser Jr. still just loved him and admired him anyway.
Bowser Jr. said, oh yeah, I think did he say he destroyed it, or he just escaped boarding school? I forgot which, but Bowser's reaction...
He said that he, like, flunked, I think.
Okay.
He dropped out.
And Bowser had, like, what, no reaction to that? He was just like, oh.
Not much.
And I'm just like, you're a kid, just flunked out.
Yeah,
and you're just like,
that reminds me in
okay, Bowser. I see
Mario
how your priorities are.
In Mario plus Rabbids, Bowser specifically Jr. on the phone and is like, "Are you doing your homework?" And that's just another example of how different their
I never played that one.
Is.
That's
so good.
You should play the Mario and Rabbids games. They're so good. I love those too. Yeah, the arcs they don't really bother. Not really much there, which is a shame, because they definitely stepped down from the first movie. Have we discussed the story and the changes to the lore?
Yeah,
I'm looking at my list of topics.
Yeah, we just did both of those.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just say, to conclude that, kind of like I was getting at, the thing that really bothers me here is when it comes to Rosalina's backstory, I feel they didn't change it because they thought they had something better. I feel they changed it just because they wanted to fit something into a movie with breakneck pacing that could be, like, not emotionally challenging for little children, and
maybe I feel like they changed it so that Peach would have, like, a somewhat of a reason to go and try and rescue her. I guess that they could do a plot of, like, we're gonna rescue so-and-so because it's the right thing to do. They could do that, but it does kind of make a bit more sense if they've got, like, some kind of personal connection, but, like, they don't really linger on the personal connection at all. They haven't really established it. They've, like, barely known each other whatsoever. One thing the thing about the lore is, like, when the flashback scene with Rosalina and Peach on the little planet, and they were made of stardust, and I'm just, like, screaming at this screen, like, what do you mean? What does that mean? One thing that could possibly be is a very specific pull from Yoshi's Island DS, where the, like, Mario, Luigi, Wario, Bowser, Peach, and a baby Yoshi are described as the... Oh wait, no, there's only 7 Star Children.
It's
Donkey Kong. Yeah,
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me that Donkey Kong exists, Courtney.
The resident Donkey Kong enthusiast.
He was there for 3 seconds in this movie, that's it.
So those are the 7 Star Children in Yoshi's Island DS, and that is a thing that showed up in that game, was kind of in the background in that game, and was never ever brought up ever again. So it's possible that they are maybe referencing that. I don't know, that's such a kind of specific and out of nowhere reference, and they only attribute it to Peach and Rosalina here, so, like, it's very possible that they just came up with something slightly similar, just completely independently of that. I don't know, shrug. But, like, it's, again, they're made of stardust, and when we touch each other, we terraform a planet. It's just, it's
oh my God.
Just so random and out there, and no explanation is given, and I don't know, I keep saying it's a fun movie if you just sit back and enjoy it and don't think. I'm thinking. I'm struggling to not think at this point.
I feel like you're opening a can of worms with that connection.
I didn't think of that myself. Somebody else mentioned it, but Yoshi's Island DS was the first Yoshi game that I played as a kid, and I did enjoy it a lot.
Oh, nice.
Even though it's not that popular.
I don't mind Peach getting a backstory, because she really does not have any explanation, and it's kind of bothered me my whole life, just thinking about, like, why is there this human princess who's the princess of all the toads? Like, I've always wondered about that, so I don't mind her getting a story. I just feel like, like, that's it. Like, that's what they went with. I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, on that flashback, I always found it confusing. Why didn't Rosalina just go with Peach?
To fight off whoever bad guys was coming after them?
Oh, that's... Okay, yeah, I was trying to remember that. I thought I had everything remembered. I didn't.
Yeah, it was like a baby Moses type of story where you have to send the kid away for their own safety because
Oh, yeah.
All the parallels with the
too
Bible in
powerful
this
together.
movie go crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, but think of this. Okay, after Rosalina deals with the threat, revisit that pipe? Huh? Or is that too much common sense for these characters?
I'm just kind of writing the movie for them because they didn't bother doing it, but like in my brain I'm thinking, okay, if there's a villain that would want to use both of them, she might destroy that connective pipe to keep Peach safe.
Yeah.
But now, on the other hand, it's
Look
like
what I'm
now
coming
that...
up with for thinking about this story for 3 seconds that they could have done.
Okay, but yeah, like on the other side of the equation, now that they've been reunited in universe, it just seems like they'd be able to solve any problem with ease. Like, oh, Bowser's attacking again? Well, super sister power, let's do it.
Yeah. But like the super sister power, is it that good? Because like Rosalina got captured at the beginning of the movie and she wasn't able to escape.
Because they weren't together, but when they're together, they
Okay.
can do anything. That's the whole thing.
All right
But,
then.
so I
So
feel like,
then-
yeah, they have to have some excuse to separate them again in any future movie, or they'd just be able to
Hmm.
do anything.
Yeah, they have to
Maybe,
separate them
maybe.
because they need to make time for Daisy and Peach.
Yeah, we're gonna get to talking about what the future movies are. Yes, we've spoken about the references.
Have we talked about all of them?
Not all of them.
Talk
Would
about
you like to
all 500
to-
of them.
talk about every single reference in the film, Flips?
Well, I just want to take this as an excuse to complain. They really shouldn't have spoiled Star Fox in that.
Yeah,
I hate that.
That would have been a cool surprise.
Yeah, they better not do that again next movie. Don't spoil that, man. Oh, I would be mad if they did.
Okay,
Oh,
so I am
They're
glad
gonna
that
release a poster with Kirby next time.
Oh my
I
god.
got to be surprised by Mr. Game & Watch. That made me
Yeah,
sad.
that was cool.
Yeah.
That's the only two things I wanted to mention. We can move on.
But yeah, I do want to take a bit of time to specifically talk about the Mario RPG books on
Let's
Rosalina's library shelf. Very blink and you'll miss it, but yeah, no, I'm looking at the image now.
Looking at it too.
And of these books, there is a book with the logo of the Watanists from Mario and Luigi Brothership. There is a book with a picture of Tippy on the side of it. There is a book with the royal stickers from Paper Mario Sticker Star. Yes, the best Paper Mario.
Base.
I'm kidding. And there is, most concerningly, the Dark Prognosticus, also from Super Paper Mario. And this is very interesting because, like, of course, the Mario RPGs are like infamously almost never referenced in any way outside of like themselves. And it's very nice that they are at least willing to slightly reference the Mario RPGs, and this is an interesting way to go about it. But like, it makes me wonder if they are going to be interested in referencing them in more detailed ways, because obviously, if you're making a movie, which is more of a story sort of medium than a video game has to be, if Miyamoto changes his mind and wants to actually have a bit of a story in his films, the Mario RPGs would be an excellent place to pull from. Discuss.
Yeah, so when
I
I
agree.
saw, when I was watching the movie, I pretty much just saw Tippy in the Dark Prognosticus because I love Super Paper Mario as well, and my eyes did the cartoon thing where they like popped out of my head and they like reached
like
all the way,
TK.
all the way to the movie screen.
All the way against the screen.
Yeah. So I didn't see some of this other stuff until later, but
Which
yeah,
is
like-
which is fair, because this the scene where all the books are on the shelf is like literally like 3 seconds long, and Rosalina's arm is covering most of them for a lot of those seconds. When I saw this scene, I specifically noticed the royal stickers, even though Super Mario is also like my favorite game. It might be because I'd just been making my April Fool's Day video where I talk about Mega Sparkle Goomba being the most evil Mario villain. That might be the reason why my brain zeroed in on the royal stickers, because I've been looking at them a lot for that video. But yeah, it does make me incredibly happy seeing references to the Mario RPGs, and that does kind of lead me to think about where they could take future films. Because Specifically in that flashback scene where there was some kind of evil force chasing Rosalina and Peach, and that's why they had to separate. We didn't see who the villains were, but like there was like this purple light that they were represented by. And to be honest, what with them revealing Daisy in the post-credit scene, it was probably Tatanga or something, but I would love it to be the Shroobs.
The Shroobs. Ooh.
Yeah, I think, what these references prove is that there are people working on these movies who are very, like, genuine, sincere Mario fans, and not just fans of, like, the big bestseller games, but some of the more, spin-off-y games as well. And I hope that in the future they get to work in some more substantial RPG references. Even if they don't base the whole plot of the movie around it, they could at least have something like the Wart scene, but it could be the Shroobs or something, like at least like 5 minutes of the runtime or something, or something from the RPGs. I think that's within the realm of possibility. It all comes down to whether or not Miyamoto would allow something like that.
Yeah, I think you guys, I don't know if you saw the report. They're making like pretty sure this was kind of a spin-off Donkey Kong series. Did anyone see that?
I mean, yeah, they like filed the copyright or trademark or whatever for like untitled Donkey Kong movie. If it's like a spin-off, I feel like that could work well. Spin-offs of like this universe. I feel like that could work. Because I desperately want a spin-off Luigi's Mansion focused film, please. Please.
They could do that.
Because I saw Flood in there.
Yeah, there was Flood. Did you notice that in the Minus World bit where they're chasing Ukiki, there's like this like big like city area, and among the like references of like there's like some like images on top of buildings. There was like the Mario Party dice above some of them, and I did spot the like Luigi's Mansion design of King Boo in that sequence as well. Don't know if you clocked that, but
ooh, no, I didn't.
Interesting.
Yeah, no.
You should look back.
Yeah,
also,
if you look closely, yeah.
Yeah, while we're talking about it, I just want to point this out. Yeah, EGAD mug.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely saw that. Yeah.
I didn't catch that my first time. I also didn't catch the references of all the books because it went by so fast. But people were picking apart it on the movie after it came out. I'm like, holy cow! Oh my god!
Yeah, EGAD would have been a good character to have in the movie as well because he invents a lot of things and Bowser Jr. just randomly has all this technology that does so much stuff. He's got Flood, he's got a Poltergust, and Kamek's got this mug.
Yeah, they definitely crossed paths before this movie. Somehow. Like, you can't have all this tech without EGAD, so how'd you two meet?
Again, that's an opportunity to have a story that they didn't bother doing.
I mean, I'd like to imagine that EGAD was maybe a professor at Bowser Jr.'s school and he just stole a bunch of stuff before.
Oh my god, that's an amazing idea!
That could have been a good flashback, all that scene in the film. I could write a better film than they did.
Actually, wait, at that point, wouldn't Kamek be a good professor too?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Dear me. I do kind of like Kamek in the movie. I do like how they do kind of interpret him how I've always imagined him as like a dad grandfather sort of role to Bowser and Bowser Jr. Maybe not as my favorite interpretation of Kamek ever is always going to be Origami King Kamek, but I do like him in this quite a lot too. I do like the days are long but the years are short. Calling back to when I said that they went on this big space traveling adventure in this second movie, and I don't know where they could bring it after that. They could either have a very similar level of scale with another space movie, or go backwards and just have it be on a planet, which I doubt that they will. The one and only thing I could think of to actually raise the stakes and the scale of the film is to go to other dimensions, aka Super Paper Mario-ish sort of plot line. And dare I get my hopes up about such a thing?
Proceed at your own risk.
When movies try and do, there's a multiverse out there, very rarely it works well. Like Spider-Verse worked well. That was interesting. But then again, I feel like they tried it with Marvel, and before they kind of mostly dropped that idea because the whole thing with Kang didn't work out. I still didn't find it very interesting, even when they were doing it. As much as I would like them to pull more elements from the Mario RPGs, I don't think I trust them to do a good job with it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Not
Like,
with Miyamoto
I
sitting there.
don't
No.
think they could adapt the whole story of an RPG and do that good of a job. Like I said, most I would hope for is maybe some side plots or something.
So when I was a kid, the first Mario RPG I ever played was Partners in Time, actually. That was the first one I started with. And I really loved the Shroobs, and I thought they were really cool and scary alien villains. And then Super Mario Galaxy came out, and since the Shroobs were from space, I fully expected as a kid that the Shroobs would be in Super Mario Galaxy, and like we'd go to like their home planet there. I was not aware of the like segregation between the Mario RPGs and the main games. But like leading up to this movie, there was a small part of me that like held on to hope, oh, they're gonna put the Shroobs in this movie, even just a little bit. Like they're gonna like zoom through space and you're gonna see their planet go by, or just something. So like there's just this one little part of me that is like not able to let go of the hope of the possibility of them using Shroobs as like a villainous force in maybe the next movie or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's truly impossible to even guess at what they're going to attempt next, aside from the fact that it's going to have Daisy in it.
Yeah, that's why I think that they're probably gonna use Tatanga, which again is a very specific pull of a character that's only been in one game, but they did do Wart in this movie, which is like kind of the same thing. So
my only guess was it was just going to take place in Sarasland, because that's where Daisy comes from. But after that, it's just like, okay, what else? Are you going to incorporate Wario or something from the Super Mario Land games?
Here's an insane idea, and I'm totally stealing this from a friend of mine. This is not my own idea, but George talking about alternate dimensions made me remember this, but like my friend posited that in this universe, Daisy is like Peach, like an alternate dimension Peach. Like there's another world that is very similar. It's like very similar to this one, but like there's a different princess, and there's like, instead of Mario and Luigi in that universe, it's Wario and Waluigi.
Oh my god, that is crazy.
That could be interesting.
I feel like everybody would never expect that.
I feel like if they were to do different dimensions, it would be like, okay, this dimension is made out of paper. That is a fundamental difference in this reality to the main one. But like, if you do like other realities which are just like pretty much the same, but like some of the people are kind of different, that just makes like the main world feel kind of smaller, because like you could have just had more depth to the world that you already made, but you decided to go, nah, I'll just have another one.
Yeah, I do think they have to bring in Wario and Waluigi to these movies eventually, but it makes me wonder like what the explanation for them is going to be. I
don't think you really need an explanation, really.
Wario just wants money.
I want to say that they could just be from Brooklyn as well, but like, are they humans? They've got elf ears. I don't know. Well,
actually, wouldn't they incorporate like elements from the WarioWare games? Or if they were, if they were to include Wario?
I'm thinking about Wario, and I mentioned Tatanga. I mean, didn't Wario hire Tatanga to kidnap Daisy? Am I crazy?
No, Wario wasn't even introduced until Super Mario Land 2.
Yeah, but wasn't it revealed that it was him that hired Tatanga? Am I stupid? Was that a thing or not?
I haven't played those games. So
maybe if so, they would have added that later, like a little bit of like cheeky retconning or something. I'm not that familiar. I've only ever played both of those games like once, so I don't really remember. But
retconning
that would have been in like the instruction manual or something. Okay, get this. Here's just a wild story idea out of nowhere, but like Mario and Luigi, became famous in the Mushroom Kingdom, but they also were famous back in Brooklyn after, the whole finale of the first movie where they had to save it from Bowser and everything. But, then they went to go live in the Mushroom Kingdom and they spend most of their time there. So what if like Wario and Waluigi are these imposters in New York who are trying to pretend that they're the famous brothers, and then they get all the fame and stuff? Yeah, they get all the fame because Mario and Luigi aren't around.
That's amazing. And then Mario's family comes in and calls out, "Hey, you're not Mario." And they realize, oh no, they're caught and need to run away. And then they fall down to the sewers, like in the first movie. And they come across a pipe and they're like, okay, we're going, okay, all right, Waluigi, we need to get out of here. Let's go. Who cares? And then they end up in the Mushroom Kingdom.
That's a good idea, actually. They could do that. That'd be a good one. But yeah, I feel like since the premise of this film kind of gave them more of a go-ahead to just like have action set piece after action set piece after action set piece, keep going, go fast, don't slow down at all, move, with the story and the settings and stuff. If they are going to scale the scale back a bit in like the next movie, that kind of forces them to slow down a bit, I feel. Because there isn't, if they're not going to do space again, there's less to explore, there's less places, and you're going to have to, like, focus on the locations a bit more, even just a little, because they're closer together and you got to, like, actually walk to them.
I'm kind of worried for this Donkey Kong movie. Like, I want it to be good, but I shouldn't get my hopes up too much.
Was it confirmed to be a movie or just like an episodic series? I forgot which.
I think it was specifically a movie that they filed the trademark copyright
because I was thinking it was gonna be some kind of series, but I may be wrong. It couldn't be that bad. Just incorporate elements from the Donkey Kong Country series. Surely it can't be that bad.
It feels famous last words. It feels similar to me. It feels similar to me with like I'm afraid of like I want them to do things with the Mario RPGs, but I'm afraid of them handling it correctly. I think it's a similar thing with that, because there's certain things that they value. Everything looks really good. Everything sounds really good. They interpret the designs of characters very well. They feel mostly faithful to the video games. They've not like made everything like bizarre or more realistic. They haven't made it live action to appeal to mass audiences. But there are a lot of like specifics and like story details that they don't value as much, and that makes it harder to be excited about them doing certain things.
Yeah, like these movies, some people kind of act like they're the worst case scenario or something, but it could be a lot worse. Like, honestly, these movies are, like I said, you can tell the people working on them, maybe not necessarily always the highest up people, but the animators and stuff, like, they do have care for the Mario universe. Like, they do understand the appeal of these games and the characters and stuff, but like obviously it could be a lot better, but it could be a lot worse, I think. Like, I don't know.
They care, and this is completely random, but you ever see the concept art for like the first Mario movie and Toadsworth was there, and he's not there?
Yeah, why isn't Toadsworth there?
I thought you were gonna talk about Rock Hawk.
No.
Just came out. Did you see that?
There was a little animatic for like an alternate version of the Peach and Bowser wedding scene, and Rock Hawk was in the audience.
Dude, I would never be shutting up about that if that was in the movie.
Wait, who's that again? Oh, that guy! He was gonna be in the crowd? Oh my god! Sorry, I didn't know about that. That's really
that was like
weird and funny though.
Very recent revelation that just came out.
Yeah, that's kind of random.
Sorry, it's been a bit since I played T2ID. I forgot about this guy.
Specifically, the Glitz Pit is my favorite part of the game, so like they put Rock Hawk in the movie, I would have lost my mind.
Yeah, I do like the Glitz Pit. But yeah, these are the Mario RPG books. I've noticed the specifically the Royal Stickers book first, and in the movie, the Royal Stickers book, by the way, appears twice in the film. It's in this bookshelf scene, and it's also later on when Peach comes to the Comet Observatory. It's the book underneath Rosalina's storybook as well, which is very interesting. So that means that sticker star is the most important of the Mario RPGs, and they're going to be adapting that with the sequel.
If they are doing that, they better get Kirsty's voice actor right.
I know that it probably doesn't really mean anything, but it just feels so interesting that Rosalina has the Dark Prognosticus. I feel like that has such serious implications. Like, does that mean that she, like, read a prophecy that foretold that she was about to be kidnapped in it, maybe? She could have. Oh,
wait, I had an idea. The thing that caused Peach and Rosalina to separate, that was Count Bleck, and Rosalina fought against him. She defeated him and took the Dark Prognostics as spoils from the battle. There's my fan service. Or no, there's my fan fiction.
She grabbed the book and like beat him over the head with it.
Yeah, literally. That's really funny. When you say it out loud, Let's take this dangerous book and just beat someone in the head with it instead of just reading out, I don't know, some dark spell.
I've been playing Tomodachi Life. I've made a Count Like Me, and I've drawn a Dark Prognosticus, and I've given it to him. You can
Oh my god.
make books in the game.
That's amazing.
So, and I've seen like him and the Meave that I made for Dementio sitting together and talking about the Dark Prognosticus as well. It's kind of funny.
Bro, one of my IRL friends, we watched the movie, and he's also a huge Super Paper Mario fan. And I saw that the me you made, Dementio, and I'll just send it here. I sent it to him. It's just...
Oh yeah, no. I did a live stream for Tomodachi Life just yesterday, and I gave like a bunch of characters guns, and it was funny.
There's special. He wields a gun.
But yeah, I think that I've looked at everything on my list. We've talked about the Mario RPG books. We've spoken about whether we think it's better or worse than the first movie. I think that we all prefer. Do we prefer the first movie over the second one?
I do.
I do.
I do as well.
It's just like it's special to me because it's it's the first time Mario finally on the big screen in the right way. Like all the previews looked amazing. Like everything was ready for this movie, and I absolutely loved it. And yeah, I don't think you can't really top the first time, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like this is a historic event, I guess.
Yeah, there is a bit of that, but like I mean, sometimes sequels like really do blow the original movie out of the water occasionally.
Well, it doesn't seem like this one did for you.
No, it didn't. No, I'm just saying that it could have had potential to be better, and like I spoke about the pacing and all the references and stuff, and like I really do think that they should have stuck more with actually adapting Super Mario Galaxy, because those games have so many things that they could have used, but they were like really, really greedy. They like. And they've got like Super Mario Sunshine kind of going on because Bowser Jr. is there and he's got his paintbrush. He also like uses his powers from Mario Wonder, and they've got New Super Mario Bros. DS kind of when Bowser turns into Dry Bowser randomly, and then we've got Mario Odyssey with Tostarena and the Cascade Kingdom, but like on a different planet, and it's this, that, and the other is Super Mario Bros. 2, and it doesn't feel it's got Mario Galaxy movie only in name, because along with that there's also like references to like other game series with Rob, and you've got Pikmin, you've got Star Fox, and do you think that that's like an attempt to set up a Smash Bros movie?
It could be, because it was also Captain Falcon and Samus were in that scene. Their ships.
Oh yeah, no, the characters weren't, but the ships were.
Yeah, but maybe it's their attempt. I really don't know how well it's gonna go, given that it's Illumination. But we'll see.
I personally don't like that idea very much, and like it's a similar thing with like. I've been this way about Mario Kart for a while. I was not keen on them like adding Inklings and Villager and Isabelle and Link to Mario Kart, because there's so much Mario stuff that they could pull from in this Mario game that they just don't bother doing, and then they're like, okay, let's start adding completely unrelated characters from other properties. And it's like that problem, but like on steroids in this film, because like this is a movie about Super Mario Galaxy, but they're already pulling in things from so many other different games that it doesn't feel like a movie about Super Mario Galaxy whatsoever. You've also got the additional set of stuff on top of that of characters who aren't even from this franchise. So it just feels very all over the place and unfocused, whereas the first movie felt a lot more focused, to be honest, and that makes me like follow it much better and enjoy it a lot more.
Very true and very fair. They should have just called this movie Super Mario Universe, because it is not about a
Super
galaxy.
Mario Space. The references are fun, and most of the time the interpretations of the characters and stuff are pretty well made, but like I really wish that they had more self-control and didn't just like, I want to reference everything under the sun. It is like tied to their like insistence on making things go really fast and not giving you a moment to breathe, which I am running out of patience for. Because like with the first movie it was kind of like that, and I didn't really mind it. I enjoyed it regardless, mostly positive feelings about it. But with this movie, they are really trying my patience and like really pushing the envelope of how much I'm willing to tolerate with this kind of movie format, and I am not really tolerating it very much.
Yep. I agree.
Any more overall thoughts? We didn't mention Yoshi once, by the way.
Oh yeah, I mean he shined in the beginning and in that T-Rex scene, but everything else he's just kind of there, I guess.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking about that. Like Yoshi was the big teaser character for this movie at the end of the first one, and then like when you get to this actual movie, he's just kind of there, you know.
Actually, yeah. Did we ever we all know that iconic shot in Super Mario Galaxy 2 where Mario and Yoshi flies above that volcano that explodes? Right?
Yeah, it explodes.
They never. I thought for sure they would recreate that shot. They never did.
Yeah, again, they're not interested in adapting the Mario Galaxy games.
Yeah, I was just like, did we ever see Yoshi and Mario fly together? I'm trying.
Yeah, I think yes, we do. I think we do.
Must have went by so quickly.
Everything goes by so quickly. When they're approaching the Bowser's planet, which feels like a really big reference to World Bowser in Super Mario 3D World, to be honest. I kind of expected the music from that world to appear.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
Biggest musical disappointment. I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna hear it.
Bro, I was so ready for that. I was so ready for that. It just didn't happen. I'm like, this was your biggest opportunity, and you don't do it.
Dear me. But yeah, no, but
I think it's interesting that they did in the movie with Bowser being Dry Bowser. Like that's kind of a bold choice to do to one of your main characters.
I thought it was cool.
I assume he's going to get restored at some point in the next movie. Maybe that's going to be a big plot point.
Yeah, but... I do think that, like, do you think that they're going to do Bowser as a villain again? Because I think that it would be quite lame to do it for 3 times in a row, and like Mario just rescued his son's life at the end of the previous movie now, so I feel like they kind of got to be more chill.
I mean, Bowser Jr. was shown escaping. Oh, sorry. I interrupted you.
Yeah, maybe they'll just be too distracted with, like, trying to find some way to bring Bowser back to life or fleshiness or what have you, that they won't have, like, him and Bowser Jr. will just kind of have this side plot to whatever. But I don't, again, like, the mainline Mario games do not have a lot of alternative villains to choose from, so like I mean you could have like Tatanga, but he is like that'd be awesome to elevate
one guy with a ship,
but he really does not have much character to speak of or like presence in the series. So
troops.
Like obviously the RPGs have a lot better choices to draw from. From experience, I don't think they would ever go there. But Cackletta. Yes.
Actually, I was gonna mention this. One thing I did appreciate about this movie, remember the blue Luma from the first movie?
Yeah,
the one that was depressing? Yeah. Bro, they showed that preview, and I was so excited. I'm like, oh my god, Luma. And then she's just shown to be, like, edgy or whatever. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Why is she like this? And then
I think that was the strongest impression. One of my friends was talking to me after the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, why was there like a bad cop Luma?
Yeah.
Like,
and I was
so weird.
I was so glad.
What is this nihilistic Luma about? Like, why is she like that? We could have had like a bit in Rosalina's Comet Observatory where they like mentioned that one weird guy who left us a while ago.
Yeah, and I was really glad that Luma was not there for most of the movie. I'm like, because they showed her in one of the trailers for the Galaxy movie. I'm like, oh god, no. But,
it's weird to like show a post-credit or mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
In a trailer. That's a weird choice.
Yeah, and now she's a security guard. I'm like, what? How? Wasn't she on Earth or whatever? How'd she get all the way over here on a different planet, presumably on this prison? Okay, you know what? I give up.
Yeah. I'm also kind of sad that we didn't get more Honey Queen, because Honey Queen is cool and big and we've seen one of them.
Honey Queen had like 3 lines. That's it.
Yeah, it was very, very brief.
Also, no B power up. I was kind of sad about that. I thought that would have been fun.
The Mario Galaxy power ups were just at the very, very end of the movie, and then that was it.
I mean, really, it was just the cloud flower and the blue fruit that Yoshi eats, which just
the blimp berry.
The blimp.
They had the red star as well, though.
Yeah, the red star.
Really
I was hyped for that.
I love the red star. It's it's definitely my favorite like Mario flying power up of all of them. And then later on, he got the feather, and I'm like, no, that's the sucky one that I hate using. Go back to the red star.
It's just funny. The red star is great. It's the only time he uses the spin move. I'm like, what? Also, it's just the spin move, right? Rosalina had the the Luma from the Galaxy game, the shiny one, appear for like one scene.
It's the one with like a dummy in its mouth.
Yeah, she was there, and I'm like, okay, so you have the Luma that's supposed to be with Mario, and you just don't do it? Okay.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, they had the new little companion character that they had on this journey. It was Yoshi.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess that they didn't want to overstuff it because we had quite a lot going on there. Yoshi is there to be a cute little companion character, and Duvor, and that's most of it.
Also, the fact that the Bowser theme park has a roller coaster that kills you.
Yeah, that was. I thought that was funny because it's like that level from New Super Mario Bros. Wii, the Dry Bones roller coaster. I was thinking about that.
Level.
Yeah, that level was great, but very, oddly very fitting for Bowser.
Oh, another specific thing I want to mention. There's just so many little bits in this movie that you forget to think about until you really think about it. But the Mario Maker sequence, which is the security system where Bowser Jr. builds a level to try and kill Mario and Peach. That was interesting because when Mario Maker first came out, I kind of always considered it a game where you kind of play as Bowser trying to make obstacle courses to kill Mario. I kind of always imagined it that way, so this is kind of a fun way to kind of canonize that, sort of.
That's a fun headcanon. Never thought about it like that. Man, Bowser's got to get better at making levels, and Bowser Jr. They kind of suck. Maybe they should try a Kaizo
all of
level.
Those levels you play, when you're playing a level online and it just has 10,000 fire bars and 500.
That's what it was.
Yeah, Bowser Jr. made that.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was one of those moments where they did cool animation stuff, which is a thing that you should take advantage of when you're making a Mario movie. The big elements that stuck out to me in this movie were that sequence where you had the alternating between the 2D sprites and them going through it in 3D. And then, the gravity changing part in the casino.
It's a fun scene.
Yeah, it's a very good looking movie, very cool looking movie. Its visuals, I'd say, is definitely the best thing it's got going for it. The Mario Galaxy stuff is just set dressing, though, sadly. I do want to mention that, we only go to 3 galaxies from the games, but there are planets from other galaxies in the game, just in the background as they're flying past them. It's oh look, there's the big peanut-looking planet from Good Egg Galaxy. Bye, it's gone now. Oh look, there's the big, massive, round lava one from Freeze Flame Galaxy. Oh, it's gone now. There we go. We don't just stop there or do anything. It's fine.
It was just sad at no Dusty Garden Galaxy.
But yeah, I feel like they definitely could have made a better Mario Galaxy movie. They just weren't that interested in doing that.
I really want to see the board meetings for this movie. What were they like? Just ideas being thrown across the table so many times.
I just hope that in future they make a longer, slower movie where they actually take their time to develop the ideas that they have rather than...
So I was a friend told me, and they're pretty knowledgeable about animation and movies and stuff, that Illumination tries to keep their movies to 90 minutes because it's the most efficient time for maximizing showtimes on a regular movie day.
That's interesting.
I doubt they'll make a much longer movie, but they could at least pack it with a little bit less stuff, maybe.
I mean, not all Illumination movies have this breakneck pacing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't necessarily need to make it longer, but they could still make it a bit slower.
Well, this third one's gonna be the trilogy. So maybe they'll be okay, we'll make it longer this time. Because after the third movie, I'm oh god, where else are you guys gonna go with this? Yeah,
I don't know. I really feel if they didn't jump straight to a Mario Galaxy movie and they did maybe an Odyssey movie for the third one, that would have been a lot better of an idea, and then it would have been able to make the ideas for Mario Galaxy have some breathing space and actually make more of a Mario Galaxy movie. Because as it is oh, let's just grab elements from everywhere and put it in the blender, which is basically, it just seems to be what they were doing with this one. Oh well, anyway, so this film, I would give it I don't know, I kind of want to give it some kind of score, but it really does feel like there are 2 ways to watch the movie. One where you just let it happen and just have fun with it, and another one where you actually look at it critically. And when I look at it one way, I enjoy it a lot more than when I look at it the other way. So it's kind of hard to rate. If I'm just sitting back and enjoying it, it's like a 6. And if I'm thinking about it critically, it's a 4, maybe a 3 out of 10.
I'd give it
which feels harsh.
Yeah, I'd give it a comfortable 7 out of 10. I still liked it, and from the first movie, this movie actually made me laugh out loud a lot. It was genuinely funny.
Okay.
Some bits were funny. But as a hardcore Super Mario Galaxy fan, I can recognize this was not the Galaxy movie I wanted. And for that reason, I'm just going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Alright.
Yeah, I'd give it like a 5 out of 10. It's like right down the middle. Like, I didn't hate it. It was a good time, but honestly, like, I've enjoyed this conversation a lot, and, you know, I've been happy to finally get some of my thoughts out by talking with you, too, but... after that, like, I don't really care to think about this movie anymore. Like, it's not gonna stick with me. Like, I'm just gonna go back to enjoying the Mario games, and until I have to think about the movie universe again because they're making another one, or the Donkey Kong movie or something, I'm just like, I don't really care to think about it. Like, it's they don't do too much for me, but I do like the first movie quite a bit better.
Yeah, I do think the first movie was a better...
Wake me up when Luigi's Mansion movie gets announced, and I'll be all hands-on.
But yeah, that was a fun discussion. Lots of thoughts about this film. I did enjoy it. I did get the Yoshi popcorn bucket. Have you seen that?
My theater didn't have one, and I'm mad.
I went to like a small local theater that we have in town, and so they don't have stuff like that. Kind of sad.
Darn. I asked them, hey, you guys got the Yoshi popcorn bucket? And said no. I'm like, are you serious? They're like, you're the biggest theater in our area and you don't have it?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to use that again to put popcorn in. It did cost me 30 quid, so I'd better get some use out of it. It was a fun and entertaining movie. For what it is, I feel like Illumination trying to make like just a fun movie for kids to enjoy, not a movie to actually really think about, like what we've been doing today with this discussion. But yeah, it depends the way that you look at it. It can definitely be enjoyed, and you can definitely have a good time with it. I do see it as like a roller coaster, but like if you try and scrutinize the roller coaster, it kind of falls to pieces, which is dangerous when you're on a roller coaster. You don't want it to do that. Anyway, unless everybody has any final thoughts, we can call it there.
No, you know, honestly, I'm just pleased I had enough to say about this movie to last almost 2 hours, so I'm glad.
Hour and a half. I share the same feelings, happy to get my thoughts out. And here's when we do this again in 3 more years, jeez.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll probably...
when the Donkey Kong movie, I'll have thoughts, believe me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
good or bad, I will have them.
Yeah, you said that you didn't care so much about Mario Galaxy as much as me and Flips do, but like you are very passionate about Donkey Kong, so like you're the one who's going to be dreading how they may massacre your boy later on.
Yeah, you know, I will say that one very interesting thing to me about the whole discourse around this movie is, you know, it illuminated what a...
Illuminated.
Game. I didn't even do that.
Very funny.
But it did, it highlighted how influential Mario Galaxy is to a lot of people, because, you know, I'm a bit older than you two, and so I was like a teenager by the time Mario Galaxy came out, and... So, you know, I liked it at the time. It's a good game, but it didn't have that, like, really formative impact on me. And so this movie really kind of taught me how influential that game was to a lot of people about, like, you know, 10 or so years younger than me who grew up with it when they were younger, and how that it, like, really influenced the, you know, just the atmosphere of it, and it just sort of taught them what the Mario universe was or could be at a very, like, formative way. And I think people who have those personal stakes with the game or with the character Rosalina, you know, this movie, I don't blame them for, like, being a lot more personally disappointed with it, you know?
Yeah, because that was the first 3D Mario game that I played through. I had played, like, a little bit of Sunshine before that, but Mario Galaxy was the first one that I really started with. So it is a shame to see that, but yeah, it was still a fun time. Right then, we'll call it there.
Right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
Until next time, farewell, everyone.